Hey gang, Paul White here in front of my new fancy dancy little drawing board. And here's what we're going to do is we're going to map out how to do a one-page business plan. I think a lot of people screw this up. They try to make things too complicated. And I'm going to show you here in the next few minutes how you can put your entire business plan on one page and it be super, super, super effective. And I know effective, right? I know effective. I'm the branch manager, one of the top branches in the nation. And I'm going to show you how we do it here. So I'm going to flash on the screen here just real quick, a picture of the one-page business plan. And if you look at it, so part number one is the top 5 business goals. For instance, that might be things like work in your database, right? Your past database. A lot of loans in the past database. A lot of people think, well, Carl, why would I work my past database? Because they just refied everybody and rates are so high that we couldn't refi. Number two, there's still refinancing opportunities. My branch, I think last month we did 19% of our loans, and we do hundreds of loans a month. I think last month was 320 or something like three. I think it was 323 loans. Like still 19% was refis. But here's the thing: when we're working our past database, that they also refer us purchase. In fact, much more purchase deals than refis right now. It's a funny thing working the past database during purchase markets like what we're in now. They refer us purchases during refi markets. Well, they refer us refis. Right now, they're referring us purchases. So let's say that on your top 5 business goals, number one, I want to work my past database. Number two, I want to get more referrals from my agents. I want to get more referrals from my agents. That's a really good thing to work on because when an agent refers us a deal, about 25% of those close, right? So 1 out of 4. So if we get, say, 8 referrals, we just got 2 closings, right? And you make $3,000 per closing. That's an extra $6,000 from just 8 referrals. Very good thing to work on. And just as, oh, by the way, 67% of all loans, the borrowers pull that loan from the loan officer that their realtor recommended. So in other words, 67% of all closings close with a lender that the realtor recommended. So that's a really good thing to work on. So, all right, so you go number one, a top 5 business goals is I want to work my database. Number 2, I want to get more referrals from agents. And you might say number 3, I don't know, I want to get more loans from social media. Totally doable, by the way. There's a very particular way to do it. I'm going to tell you, most people teach it all wrong because they're not actually doing it. We actually do this stuff in my branch, and we can show you how to actually get more closings from social media. But anyway, that's not the purpose. The purpose of this is to show you how to do a business plan. So you know what, you're going to pick 5 things in your business that you want to do. And again, the example I gave: work my past database, get more referrals from agents, social media, whatever. Maybe teach some classes, like whatever you want to do. There's all kinds of different ones. And we'll do a little thing if you want us to help you with your business plan. If you go to dailysuccessplan.com for free, we'll spend about an hour on a one-on-one Zoom call with you and help you do the business plan, just like what I do. All right. So in addition to the top 5 business goals, to look back on the screen here, we also have the top 5 personal goals. Now, keep in mind that we're not just putting a wish list up here. We're going to map out a plan how to make each one of these happen. See, it's one thing to say, well, I want to do more of this. It's another to have an actual plan to make it happen. I'm convinced that's why most plans don't work, is there is no plan. Like they just want to, I want more, I want to do better, right? That's not a plan. You have to actually map out. So to map it out, we have to know what we want first. And that's the part that we're doing right now is what's the top 5 business goals and what's the top 5 personal goals. So in your personal goals, I'll just give you mine. I did this about a year ago or 2 years ago. I want to ride my bicycle 20 miles a day. Now, to some of you guys and gals, 20 miles not seem like much, but at the time, it seemed like a lot for me, almost insurmountable. And I've been doing that for the last couple of years, riding 20 to 40 miles. I'm up to 40 miles now, pretty much every day. You might do another one. I want to do a date night once a week with my wife, my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, or your pet parakeet or whatever, right? Maybe it's a date with yourself, going out and enjoying a round of golf or going for a walk around the park. But you want to do a date night once a week. And maybe another personal one is you want to help another family out, whether, it's like whatever families need help with. You get the idea. So your personal goals is these are the things in your personal life that you want to accomplish. On the next piece, as we're looking back on the screen here, is you're looking to, what skill are you looking to develop? What skill are you looking to develop? Now, ideally, this skill is going to have something to do with your top 5 either business goals or personal goals. Like maybe one skill you're looking to develop would be perhaps learning how to time block, right? That's how, making sure that you're doing the activity that's necessary to bring in those extra loans. You're going to need a time block, or maybe that skill would be how to teach classes, whether on Zoom or in person. Maybe you want to teach classes. If teaching classes is at your gig, maybe tell you a great skill to learn to develop is how to listen. That might sound like something simple, but how to listen. Listening is a very, very, very high level skill, because I'll overhear people talking on conversations, sometimes business conversations, and I can tell that the loan officer is totally not listening to what the agent's saying. They'll actually ask questions that the agent just answered like 3 minutes earlier in the conversation. Maybe that skill is learning how to delegate. Like maybe you're doing activities that's holding you back from closing even more loans, and you need to develop the skill on how to delegate, or how to hire somebody, or how to get a team member, how to do those things. So pick one skill to develop. And then the next thing on the list here is pick one new technology. And maybe that technology is doing video marketing. Maybe that technology is some sort of social media. Maybe that technology is how to teach classes, how to do Zoom meetings. Maybe it's something like the HomeBot, or some sort of, or Boom Boom video emails, very, very effective. So you want to learn one piece of technology. Maybe that technology is just frankly as simple as learning how to use your own CRM that you might already have and you've never actually put into place, and learning how to have your CRM send out emails or video emails or text messages or whatever. But you get the idea. It's what's the right technology for you that's congruent with one of your goals that you want to do. And then the last piece here is one thing that you want to stop doing. And that's a real easy one to pick out, is what's one thing that you just don't like doing? What's one part of your mortgage practice that you go, well, I need to do this activity, but I hate doing it. Maybe you don't need to be the one doing it. Maybe somebody else can do it. And frankly, I found for my own, in my own situation, there was a lot of things that I was doing I didn't even have to do. Like I could just take them off the plate. I didn't delegate them out. I just eliminated them, and it didn't make any difference at all. Actually, it did make a difference. It made it so my life was a lot more cool, because I was writing the same amount of loans, maybe even more, yet I was doing less activity, because the activity I was doing made me feel busy, but it wasn't actually productive at all. All right, so you get the idea. So 5 business goals, 5 personal goals, one skill that you want to develop, one technology you want to do, and one thing you need to stop. Now, the other piece here that we kind of went bypass, and now we're going to look at more in detail, is with each one of your top goals. And we're going to pick on the business ones first. On each one of your business goals, what are the top activities that you're going to do in quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3? So we're just going to pick one thing. Let's say you want to get more referrals from real estate agents. All right, again, it doesn't just happen, right? We have to actually do an activity. So we have on here, on our little cheat sheet here, we have what's the top 3 activities on quarter 1 that I can do that will help me achieve this goal of getting more referrals. And you know what? I hate the word more. So let's do, I want to get another, let's say 5 closings per month from real estate agents in quarter 1. So if we close 1 out of 4, if I want to get 5 per month, then we need 20 referrals. So I need 20 referrals a month, is to get 20 referrals from agents. So what activity am I going to do to make that happen? And you might say, well, number one, the first activity I'm going to do is I'm going to call them. I'm going to call agents and just simply ask, right? Before you go doing a whole lot of work, there's a couple ways to get from A to Z. One is go A to B, B to C, C to D, E to F, and go through all these steps. The other way is go A, right over to Z, right? So I always like to go for the quick close first, because sometimes I'll say, hey, do you have somebody I can help you with? And they go, yes. It's awesome, right? Because then I bypass a lot of work. So the first thing I would do is just simply ask them. Number 2, let's say I want to, teach a class. Teach classes, and then ask that way. And the third activity I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on say a texting campaign, right? I'm going to text out, like whatever. There's all kinds. There's probably about 30 different things that we do. So you're going to do a texting campaign. All right. So that's our top 3 activities, but we're not off that easy. Now we have to go, what are the things that can trip us up? We need to talk about that. Like, I'm going to do this activity. What's the roadblocks from that activity happening? So let's pick this one. Let's say calling agents. So I want to get 20 more referrals from agents. So I get 5 more closings. 5 times 3 is 15. So that I make an extra 15 grand a month, right? Not too shabby. I want to make an extra, right? Is that right? 5 times 3, yeah, 15. So I make an extra 15 grand per month. And I'm going to do that by calling agents and asking for the business. So what's the things that might trip me up? So calling to ask. So the first thing that might trip me up, we have to be making sure that we're calling the right people, right? We can't just call agents. I saw a stat not too long ago. There's something like 1.4 million real estate agents. Get this, 800,000 of them haven't had one closing this year, buyer or seller, right? So most have done literally no business whatsoever. So we have to make sure that we're calling a qualified list. My definition of qualified list is they've had at least 8 buyer sides in the last 12 months. And I'm not talking about 2 or 3 years ago, I mean like right now. So number 1, qualified, that they have to close at least 8 buyer sides in the last 12 months. You go, all right, Carl, what's going to trip me up on that? Well, we need to find out what their production is. A couple different ways to do that. Number 1, you can use the services like MMI and some of those other services. Another way that you can do it, which I think is probably quicker and easier, if you go to qualified agent list.com. Go to qualifiedagent.list.com, and real cool guy, Richard Smith, actually will go look up in your area the agent's production volume and put it in an Excel spreadsheet for you. And I think they send you at least 1,000 qualified agents in your area. In other words, at least 1,000 agents closing 8 buyer sides or more in the last 12 months. And it's not like a year ago. It's like as of like last month for the last 12 months. And I strongly recommend, if you don't have a list, like if you've already got a service where you can look at that list, awesome, use that. If you don't, man, make this happen, because you can't just randomly call agents. The problem with randomly calling agents is you'll do great activity, but if you're not getting referrals, you start to second guess, well, gee, maybe they don't like me. Maybe my script isn't good. Maybe this technique doesn't work. The technique works fine. You just have to be sure that you're calling agents that actually have a referral to give to you. So this is a really, really, really big point. So qualifiedagent.list.com. And again, they give you 1,000 agents in your area. If you live in a smaller area, they just simply draw a bigger circle until they get 1,000 agents. And some of you work in multiple states, like maybe you work Atlanta and you also work Chillicothe, Ohio, like my friend Jen Conley does. You can say, hey, give me half the list from Ohio and half the list from the Atlanta area. So you can kind of split it up. Anyway, strongly recommend that you do that. So that could trip you up. Number 2, hey, Carl, and by the way, when you get the list, you get the name, their phone number, their email address, and what their production was. So maybe a couple other things, but you get contact information to them also. Number 2, well, Carl, what am I going to say? So say, question mark. Well, we need to know what to say. So when we call these people to get those 5 more referrals, 5 times 3, to get that extra $15,000 a month, we have to know what to say. So you're going to want to do a little bit of script practicing, right? So you want to do a little practicing. So you get the idea that as you're working your business plan, we don't just put up hopes and dreams, right? It's an actual plan. So we're going to plan out what's my goal is to close an extra, 5 loans per month. And what's the top activity that I'm going to do? One of the activities, I'm just simply going to ask for the business, right? And to ask for that business, number 1, I need to make sure I'm calling somebody that's qualified, that I can actually refer to me. And then I need to know what to say. And maybe the third thing is maybe I need time blocking. It's like I need a script blocking here on my board. So I need to do time blocking. So you go, all right, what's the solution for the time blocking? Well, we actually have a class on that. in the mortgage marketing animal. So members, if you'll just do the search for time blocking, but you get the idea is as you do these plans, you actually map out the activity that you need to do, and then the things that might trip you up when you're doing that activity. Like I might be calling unqualified people. I don't know what to say, and I haven't worked it into my schedule when I do that. And then we attack each one of them at a time. Now, the last part here is our second to last part is as we're doing this, we have to put down, as we look on the plan here, here's the units, volume, average loan amount, income, and maybe the number of referral partners that I had last year. And then this year, this is where I'm going on those exact same points. And as I'm mapping out these things, is congruent, that activity is congruent with the increase in business that I expect. And I can tell you right now, look, I get it. The industry is going through an interesting time right now. This is not unique though, right? We have these ebbs and flows all the time. The funny thing that I've seen is a lot of the top producers, a lot of the loan officers I know actually continue to grow their business. Like I'm thinking of my friend Devin. Devin closed, he first started with doing purchase business, and he closed 10 units the month of June. This last month, he just closed, what did he say? 40. I think it was 41 or 42. So he went from 10 in June to 41, 42 this past month. That's a remarkable increase. So while some people are going down, well, some are going up, right? So you have to be careful not to poison our minds that everybody's going down and going down is okay. At least I didn't go down as much as he did or as much as she did. Screw that stuff, right? We want to map out a plan. How can we increase our business? And in any market, any one person can grow their business. Keep in mind what's happening to industry doesn't have to be what's happening with you, right? You continue to grow while most decrease. And we're seeing that exact same thing happen. You just have to decide that you're going to be the one to actually put a plan together, and you're the one that's going to map out exactly what you need to do. You're going to get your list together. You're going to get your scripting. You're going to practice it, and you're going to do your time blocking. And that's just one of the different activities that you'll do. And then we'll do the same thing with our top 5 business goals. You just simply map it out the same thing. Like on my bicycle ride, for me, I'm a bit of an early riser, and we have a bicycle trail by my house where there's no cars. I literally get out there at like 5:30 in the morning. It's awesome. It's my favorite time of the day. And I just love going out there. Did I love it the first month? No, I didn't love it the first month. The first month was a bear. But now I'm really, really enjoying it. And frankly, I feel better than I have in years, just from doing that simple activity. And so when I'm fulfilling my personal goals, I feel better about myself. And as I fulfill my business goals, I feel better about myself. And when I feel better about myself, I play a better game. Think of it like in a football team. They always have the home field advantage because all the fans are yelling out, "You can do it, you can do it." And that one simple thing, just that belief in oneself, is what catapults a football game to win the Super Bowl. When it's on their home turf per se. So it's really, really, really important to get those positive thoughts in your head. And when you map out a plan and exactly how to do it, and you map out those things that might trip you up, identify them up front. This might trip me up. What's a solution for that? And so when these things happen, because the things that trip you up, they'll happen, trust me. But then you have a plan on how to fight against that. So, hey, look, we would love to walk through your one-page business plan with you. And what we'll do is we'll help you pick out what your top 5 business goals are. On your top 5 personal, well, frankly, those might be personal, and we may or may not discuss those. But we'll talk about the business part of it. We'll talk about what are the activities to help you achieve those goals. We'll talk about those things that might trip you up, that we've seen trip people up in the past. And then we'll show you the solution to how to overcome that roadblock. I always thought I'm really in the roadblock business. So I do 2 things. Number 1, I run my own brand, my own brand. And number 2, I help top producing loan officers throughout the country, write more loans, or if they're a branch manager to build their branch up even more. Real, very simple activity. And we would love to help you work through it. There's no charge for this whatsoever. There's a link or somewhere on this page. Just click on that link. And a couple things will happen. Number 1, we will send you out your little one-page business plan. And we'd like to have this in front of you when you schedule this free call that we're going to do with you, so that you can be writing in, here's my business plan. And you might want to have some of this filled out ahead of the call. And then we'll go over that with you, and we'll map out a plan. I'm going to tell you right now, this is the perfect time of year to be doing this. You do not want to be waiting when everybody else does it here, like in, at certain times of the year, like everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Like the first of the year, everybody, I'm going to do it now. You want to have a head start on those people. If you start it right now, you can have a running head start. Would love to help you with that running head start. So just click on the link or go to dailysuccessplan.com, dailysuccessplan.com, and we're going to go over your business plan with you. And there's no charge for this. You go, Carl, what's the catch? There's no catch really. It's just when we fill out these, when we help you work through this business plan, some of you will take that business plan and you'll implement it on your own. Totally cool. And some of you go, you know what? That's a great plan, Carl. Man, could you guys help me implement that on an ongoing basis? Well, we'll talk about that. But understand, this is not a sales call. This is actually a mapping out a one-page business plan for you. And if you try to do this without having a business plan, I'm going to tell you right now, it's like putting on a blindfold and trying to walk from Florida to California. Man, it's a whole lot easier if you have somebody guide you through it, put you on a jet plane. You'll get there a lot faster, a lot less headaches. So again, there's no charge for this whatsoever. Just click on the button. It'll ask you a couple of questions so that we can help best prepare for your one-page business plan. And then it'll take you directly to a calendar. Pick a time and date that works best for you. Be in a quiet place. Have the printout ready to go. And one last thing, another cool thing about going to dailysuccessplan.com and scheduling your one-page business plan, we're going to walk you through the format on how to do this for your real estate agent. So if you want to help your real estate agents develop a plan, you go, well, I don't know how I do that. What would I say? That you can copy the exact same format. And you got my permission to once we send you that form, it doesn't say for loan officers per se. So you could definitely tailor that to real estate agents or other business people in your area. And just use the example that we're going to walk you through setting up your business plan. You could do that very same activity to real estate agents, which would help. Maybe that'd be one of the new skills that you want to do is coaching or helping your real estate agent close more deals. And this will give you a great blueprint of exactly how to do that. So don't delay, dailysuccessplan.com. Hope you found this helpful, and I'll talk to you when you call in. Is it okay to share this video? Sure. If you have some loan officers or your branch manager want to share this with your loan officers, or if your loan officer want to share with your branch manager, would love to help them too. So feel free to share it, and I'll talk to you on the inside.